They claim that this interference with shortwave radio transmissions is caused by a Tesla magnifying transmitter. The noise is called the woodpecker because it makes a little pecking noise 10 times per second. It's been going on since 1976 and it's blotted out radio transmissions on frequencies between 6 and 20 megahertz. 10 pulses a second is extremely low frequency. The woodpecker's been traced to Latvia. There seems to be a second transmitter near Kiev and a third further to the east. It's not jamming, it's too random. So what are the Russians up to? Andrew Mikrovsky is an official working for the Canadian government in Ottawa. In his spare time, he runs a group called Planetary Association for Clean Energy, PACE for short. PACE thinks the Russians are using a Tesla transmitter to affect the way we behave.
Now, the signals, especially the one that you see on the oscilloscope, which are magnetic only, and by the way, that's the Soviet signal, that happens to be something that can work on my brain and anybody on this planet at this time, because it is the same frequency in the same frequency range, and it is also the same type of activity that goes in our brain. That is the terrible thing about the Soviet signals, the capacity to impose on the way people would, quote, think. This thinking I'm talking about is the thinking of being peaceful, the ability to be calm, the ability to rationalize, are all affected from a purely mental point of view by signals of this nature.
Is there any defense? This personal transmitter puts out 7.8 cycles a second, which Mikrovsky says is a natural planetary frequency the body is tuned to. It swamps the incoming signal from the woodpecker. Remove the transmitter's protective field and the Russian signal reasserts itself.
It is being used, as far as we are aware, by the German civil service. There in Germany it's called Weiterset, and it is mainly a protective mechanism to ensure that a German civil servant, especially on external affairs duty, is able to keep his composure in negotiations, or especially with other people, other countries, to make sure that they're not influenced.
The German government denies using the Weiterset, but Mikrovsky is sure it works. One analysis says every woodpecker pulse carries a sophisticated code. Each pulse lasts 3,100 microseconds. Over a sequence of 100 microsecond intervals, the signal is counted as a 0 until it reverses phase or direction. Phase reversal changes the 0 to 1. Each further reversal alters 1 to 0 and back again until all the pulse has been transmitted. The final list gives what's called a maximum length pseudo-random binary sequence, a unique code. When a signal is returned from an approaching object, it can only be used if its pattern matches precisely the pattern of the transmitted signal, a sort of key that fits into a lock. There's almost certainly no connection